Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's me, Jessica, and I'm back again with another video. And I wanted to do a quick review on Love and Hip Hop on episode 5. And this one was about, it had different scenarios. Chrissy was continuing to have issues with Bella, Kim Bella, and she wanted an apology. There's issues with Olivia and her career, and Emily going on a pointless blind date. So I've been following Love and Hip Hop pretty much since last season. So I just wanted to give my take on it, and I want to make this video quick. I'm just going to go through the list of the characters on the show and just, give my opinion on them. So, um, I would have to say the main person on the show that I dislike the most is Chrissy. Um, Chrissy, I might have liked for a split second last season, but now I really just can't stand her. She's very emotional, very oversensitive, irate, illogical, unapologetic. I mean, just I don't even know how she has friends on the show. So, apparently, a couple episodes ago, her and Kimbella had, a falling out. Well, really, it was, an issue between Kimbella and Emily, and then, from Kimbella, revealing to Emily that she had dated Fab a few years ago while she was pregnant, and Chrissy took it upon herself to go punch her in the face, which was stupid from the get-go because, number one, that wasn't your battle. It had nothing to do with you. Even though that's your friend. If anything, it was for Emily to jump on her if she wanted to do that, and Emily wouldn't do it anyway. So she goes and fights somebody else fight, and I think she just didn't like her, so she was just looking for any excuse. And then to make it worse, she's with the guy that's best friends with your man, because her man is Jewel's and Chrissy's with Jim Jones. So it just was bad all around. So Kimbella on this episode, she wants an apology from her. She sends her an email. They actually met up. Looked like they met in some kind of forest or whatever, which I think Kimbella was very brave for doing that because the girl already basically beat you up the first time you met her alone. But Chrissy still continued, didn't want to apologize. And that's my whole thing. You were wrong. And she's just one of those people who cannot take a look in the mirror and say, okay, I was wrong for what I did. It's like she was saying, okay, I should have handled it a different way. If you can even admit that that you didn't handle the situation the right way, why can't you go and give the girl an apology, regardless of whether you like her or not, or you liked what she did or not? You were wrong for putting your hands on her, especially for a situation that had absolutely nothing to do with you. So I think that she's just very childish for that. And what I didn't like, Jim Jones, I'm starting to look at him in a different light too, because I feel like he just lets Chrissy get away with too much. I mean, he does put her in her place sometimes, but I think for the most part, when she's wrong, he's not managed to tell her, look, you were wrong for what you did. Even when she admitted to him that she punched Kimbella, he really didn't have the reaction that I would have expected, especially since, you know, the girl's, the father of her child is his best friend. He was like, oh, well, didn't she think about Jewels when she was saying that? No, the point, he should have been putting Chris in his place of, what were you thinking? Why would you punch this girl in the face? It had nothing to do with you. And even when he said, well, if it was anybody else, he wouldn't have cared. Still, why would you even encourage or even give her the okay to put her hands on anybody? So I really don't know what the deal is with Jim Jones. And what else? So that was basically it with Chrissy. But Chrissy's just a mess. She just reminds me of all of she's basically just the bully on this show, as far as I'm concerned. And every reality show has a bully. Basketball Wives, it was Jackie, Christy, and Evelyn. I just feel like she's basically the bully on this show. Another thing I wanted to touch on was Olivia, who, her manager, Rich, basically had to let her know that he will no longer be managing her anymore. So he basically has walked away from her. Um, Honestly, Olivia needs to face the fact that she's not going to be the star that she wants to be, if she ever really was. Um, I think that she's a little delusional about where her career was. First of all, I remember the first song she came out with, Biz Ounce, when she was with Clive Davis, which that was a big deal just to even be on his label, because he's worked with some of the biggest women, women in the music business: Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, and she just did not follow suit with those women. Um, I mean, from the time she came out, I really didn't feel like she, she's not memorable. When she came out, she just sounded like any other girl that was making a little song at the time. There was nothing unusual or memorable about her. Like, oh, it's not like a Mary J. Blige or Keisha Cole, or let's not even put Keisha Cole, but even her, where every minute, even with Mary J. Blige, let's just use her look, because she's basically like an icon in R&B. She always has a different look, a new sound. I mean, it's been what, 20 years later, she's still memorable. There's nothing memorable about Olivia. Olivia pretty much looks the same way she did from the time that she came out. Her music isn't memorable. When she was with G Unit, she could have done something with that, but she pretty much, that didn't work out either. I just don't think it was a good fit for her. So she had two opportunities. It didn't work out. And I think that she needs to go in a different avenue now. And, I think that she has too much of a big ego. And she's just gassed for no reason. The two opportunities you did have to make it big, you pretty much blew it. And then your manager has actually not only invested his time, but he's invested his money in her. Even the video December, he basically paid for that whole thing. And then she's so stubborn and hard-headed, she's not doing what he wants her to do. You're trying to demand more money from, I think some label had offered her a certain amount, and she wasn't happy enough with it. For her at this point, she is basically on a lifeboat that's sinking. And so she needs to just hold on to whatever she can get. She's really not, to me, I don't think she's in a position to demand anything higher than what she's getting. She's lucky she's getting what she's getting, because she's not a good gamble. So at this point, she'd be better off. She looks like she might be a decent songwriter, okay songwriter. She might be better off doing that. Maybe writing for other artists. She'll still get paid, but she's just not gonna be, in the limelight what she wants. So that would pretty much be her best bet. But she has been way too stubborn, way too hard-headed, and I mean, Rich really couldn't waste any more time, dealing with her foolishness. So I really don't blame him for leaving. I think it's about time. So, and honestly, Olivia on the show, I really can't say I like Olivia on the show, because Olivia is just way too messy. Even when we, getting past her career for a minute, just her whole character on this show, I think, is just messy. Even when first of all, she's been up Yandy's butt, I've been noticing for the past couple of episodes, because Yandy and Kimbella don't even get along with Chrissy. Olivia's supposedly really good friends with Chrissy, but she's out to lunch every 2 seconds with Yandy and Kimbella, and I think she's just trying to see if she can get put on by Yandy, which that might not happen. But when Kimbella told them, look, I'm going to send her an email, Olivia jumped on board and was like, yeah, you need to send her an email, and you need to tell her how you feel. It's not going to stop. But then when she was around Chrissy and Chrissy received the email, she was like, oh, what she sent you an email for, and all this other stuff. I'm just like, you know what? You're messy. You're too messy. I'm moving on. And I'm not sure, but I just have a feeling that someone's going to be able to read her cards in a minute. Emily, nothing really too exciting about Emily this week, besides she has a friend on there who, I don't even know why she's on, Tiara Marie or whatever. her presence is pretty much irrelevant, but she is a friend. And basically, Emily just broke up with Fab supposedly. Not really, because I think they're back on. But she moved out and she has her own place. And the first thing this friend is trying to do is set up on a date. If you just got a relationship, especially that kind of relationship, 10 years, like literally just got out, why would you advise her to go out on a date or set her up? So I think Emily did the right thing by, not by not taking that whole thing seriously. She didn't even acknowledge it as a date. The guy that she set her up with, because they did like a double date thing, he seemed okay, but Emily just basically did not have her mind on that. She seems like she's more focused on her kids, on her career, and not starting off anything new. And she also still has a lot of feelings for Fab, and I think from what she's saying, she does want to work it out somehow, but she just needs to have her independence right now. But her trying to meet somebody else is just not even a priority. So, I mean, if you have a friend who's trying to set you up the moment you just got a relationship, I would really be wary of that friend. So, that was basically it with her. And, the only other thing, this, I think this is from the last episode, yeah. Jim Jones is doing a video, and he has Yandy do this big, expensive video for him in like 2 days, and she came through to everything he wanted her to do. And so when he tells Chrissy, she really had a little stink attitude about it. It's like she didn't want to give her a prize. She was like, oh, okay, whatever. It's like you want to sit down here and criticize these other people like you could do a better job. If you could do a better job, he would have had you in that position. To me, if there's anybody on the show that's a hater, it definitely has to be Chrissy. And Jim Jones needs to wake up and smell the coffee too, because Jim Jones could end up having his career messed up behind Chrissy, because Chrissy's interfering with his money and his business and the people that he needs to work with. And people eventually are not going to want to work with him if they know they're going to have to deal with Chrissy, because she's going to just mess up everything. Even with the whole situation with the mom in the video, she's walking past the guy who's a producer who I guess works with Jim Jones and puts her little finger in his face. I mean, that's disrespectful right there. You want to talk about respect? You don't give respect to other people. You cannot get what you're not giving back. So, well, anyway, that was about all I saw. That was basically all I really had to say for this week. And of course, Mama Jones is doing a video. I don't know why. I'm not even going to waste my time talking about that. So, anyway, that's it. I'm going to be watching the next episode and doing a review on that also. So, if you haven't yet, please subscribe, rate, and comment. And I will see you next time. Bye.